Hello and welcome to Filling in the Gaps. I am Justin, and I'm doing this one alone. What we've decided to do with this episode is we are going to record our recommendations for the upcoming Steam sale based on a bit of guesswork and some research we've done. We're going to tell you what's been on sale before and what we kind of recommend, what we think might be good. I want to start with a few games that we have already discussed on the podcast. So if you liked what we said, but we're holding off to buy the games we talked about for a sale, which we often recommend, this is probably the time. So the first one I would talk about is Inside. Much more Darren's thing than mine, but last year it went on sale for about 40% off, and it's not a really expensive game to begin with. And it often gets bundled with Limbo, which is a very good bundle. I would definitely recommend getting either of those games or both of those games. They're worth it. One of the earliest episodes we put out there was the Talos Principle. Last summer that went for 75% off, and this game is definitely worth it. Darren and I put in a lot of time into this game. It is visually beautiful. There are Easter eggs to find. There are very interesting puzzles. As we said in our previous episode, we definitely like the base game more than we do the DLC, but both are actually worth buying and playing. A much more recent episode, which we kind of put out before we were planning on because I wanted to get it out for the Steam sale, was Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight, if you didn't listen to the episode, it's essentially an asymmetric game in which you have one killer and 4 survivors trying to escape. Last year, in the summer sale, it went for about 40% off, and as someone who's put, admitted now, way too much time into this game, over 100 hours into this game, and still enjoying it, I would definitely recommend this game. It's also a really, really good time to get into this kind of game because it's all co-op. When it's a sale and you get lots of new players, one, if you're a new player, it's a great time to get in because you might be playing with people who are a bit more on your level. But also, this is a time where you don't have to wait as long for games to happen because a lot of new people are coming in and playing a lot. This is also a good time to come in because they have added a couple really short tutorials to help you out, both learning-wise and also to get points to help level up a character. And this is also a time where there's a new DLC that has just come out, which is a scary clown. I have not yet played against the clown. I am hoping to soon, but I think this is a great time to jump in. If you're at all interested in Dead by Daylight, now is the time. We've also talked about Superhot. Superhot went on sale last year for about 40% off. Superhot is just a really interesting, innovative shooting game that feels like a puzzle. I would definitely recommend it. It will be frustrating, I will not lie to you, but I tell you, it is worth it. We also would both definitely recommend the Valve Complete Pack if that goes on sale, and it usually does. Valve owns Steam, and Valve makes this complete pack. This pack includes games like Counter-Strike. I believe there are 3 of them in the pack. Half-Life, Half-Life 2, Team Fortress, I think Team Fortress 2, but why I would really recommend it and why I bought it the first time in the first place, why I got involved in Steam and addicted to Steam sales came because of this complete pack. It is a tremendous value that I believe I picked it up for about $25 when I got it. I don't know exactly what it will be, but it usually goes on sale in a way that honestly, Portal 2 for me is worth the price to get in anyway. Whatever it costs, Portal 2 is probably worth it in my opinion. However, all the other games just add to it. It is a terrific value. If you're new to Steam, this is the pack I would tell you to get. We would also like to recommend a few games that we are probably going to talk about in future episodes. I don't want to say too much about them, but I do just kind of want to tease them. So one is Soma. And Soma last year went about 70% off, I believe. and that is a pretty good deal. Darren and I both have Soma in our libraries. It's very likely we're going to be talking about this game in the future. A few games that I would like to talk about that typically go on sale that really are probably not ones we're going to talk about on the podcast, but I think are well worth it. I recently played Dishonored 1, and Dishonored is a fun game. It is a game where you can play as stealth, or you can play with as much violence as you can try to get away with. It has interesting powers. It has a simple story that works. It's just a fun game, and I would definitely recommend it. A game I'm not sure that we're going to talk about, but I think is a lot of fun, is Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. This is a type of co-op game where it's essentially a gap-fill activity where one person has to communicate information they have to another person and then get a response back. It's a similar style of play to We Were Here. If you played We Were Here, or even just liked the sound of it from our podcast before, I'd recommend Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. It's the type of game that pretty much anybody could get into. This could be the type of game you could get casual friends to play. Stardew Valley. I purchased Stardew Valley last year, and I think it was about 40% off. Stardew Valley is essentially a farming game similar to Harvest Moon. I have not played Harvest Moon, but through all the reviews, you will see that name many, many times. So it's not top quality in graphics, but aesthetically is very well done. It is a world that feels complete, with characters that have some unique traits and some unique things going on. The days feel too short, which I think for this type of game is a good thing. I never really felt like I was waiting around for anything. Other games that I've played where I have to farm and then wait real time one day for, that does not appeal to me. Whereas this game doesn't have that. It's not trying to get you to come back over and over again and trying to sell you anything in game. It is simply the game itself, and it is a lot of fun to play. You've probably heard some hype about it. I'd say it's probably earned it. I only played for 3 years of game time, and honestly, I felt like I got a lot out of it. I could play more, but after 3 years, I was ready to kind of put it away for a while. But there are things in the game then I didn't do. And there are also things that if you start a new game, you can do things very, very differently. So I would definitely recommend Stardew Valley. I think if you want something that's a bit more relaxing and a bit more addictive in just a fun, cute way, Stardew Valley. The last one that I would like to recommend is Bioshock. Last year on the Steam sale, I looked it up. The whole franchise went on sale for about 75% off. This, dear listeners, is a fantastic series. I am not the type of person to play games over and over again. I typically play once and I'm done. I have played the first Bioshock at least 6 times. The second one probably 4 times. And Infinite maybe 3 times so far. I just love this franchise. I think what it does visually is really impressive. I think what it does with its story is very interesting. And it is just a world that, as creepy as it can also be a lot of fun. And there are ways to adjust playstyle so that you can get a different feel for it on multiple playthroughs. I can't recommend Bioshock enough. If you at all like first-person shooters, or something along the lines of a Skyrim, but you feel the sandbox is a bit much at times, as I do, having a linear story but with a bit of exploration element to it, Bioshock fills that niche very beautifully. And quite frankly, I love it, and just talking about it, I kind of want to play again. So that's it. That's my recommendations for this year's Steam sale. I do not know for sure if all of these will go on sale, but I think that because they did last year, it's a very good possibility that they will again this year. Happy shopping.